Tonight on Newswatch, leaders of the world's two biggest superpowers meet in Washington. What's on the agenda, and can they find common ground?
Plus, violating human rights. Will President Obama challenge China on its forced abortion policy?
And voter mandate. The House votes on repealing the health care law. Why the move is more than symbolic. All this and more tonight on Newswatch. Grand diplomacy and pageantry on display in Washington. Good evening, I'm Lee Webb.
And I'm Lori Johnson. President Obama welcomed Chinese President Hu Jintao to the White House. The world leaders shared a stage to take on tough topics that have strained relations between the two superpowers. White House correspondent Jennifer Wishon has more in tonight's top story.
It was a red carpet arrival at the White House for Chinese President Hu Jintao, complete with bells and whistles reserved for honored heads of state. It's a high-stakes relationship.
Nations, including our own, will be more prosperous and more secure when we work together.
In front of cameras in the Oval Office, the two presidents kept conversation light.
Very typical January weather here in Washington.
But there were heavy, even uncomfortable talks to be had. Trade, security, Chinese currency manipulation, and human rights violations, issues that have strained U.S.-Chinese relations. U.S. business leaders call it a critical moment. America is in danger of losing its distinction as the world's leader in factory production to China this year. According to the Alliance for American Manufacturing, the U.S. lost 2.5 million jobs over the last decade due to America's growing trade deficit with the communist nation.
We are tied together with China on trade, and unfortunately, it's been more of a one-way relationship than a two-way relationship.
In an effort to squelch fears of China's growing economic prowess, the administration announced China will ease policies that currently prevent Beijing from purchasing products designed in the U.S. President Obama also announced China will buy $45 billion in U.S. exports.
From machinery to software, from aviation to agriculture, these deals will support some 235,000 American jobs, and that includes many manufacturing jobs.
Tonight, the Obamas host Mr. Hu for a state dinner. One person who will not attend, new House Speaker John Boehner. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have criticized the administration for honoring the president of a country with such a poor record on human rights.
It is my pleasure.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News,
the
White House.
And to return the hospitality.
Many are using the Chinese president's trip to shine a spotlight on the country's human rights violations, particularly its one-child policy, which forces abortion and sterilization. More than 35,000 of these forced procedures happen every day in China. China's Communist Party brags about preventing 400 million births with the policy. Advocacy groups are in Washington this week calling for President Obama to address that practice.
Chai Ling joins us now from Washington. In college, she was a key student leader in the Tiananmen Square movement. She's now with a group called Girls Aloud. Chai, you have a message for President Obama this week. What is it?
President Obama, please stand up for American country's principles and values. Please speak loudly and boldly to President Hu Jintao of China. It's time to end the one-child policy. It's time to end the forced abortions. It's time to end the gendercide.
What needs to be done to get this policy changed?
First of all, they need to realize forced abortion, forced sterilization, gendercide is a massive crime against humanity. This has happened in such a massive magnitude. It's the largest crime against humanity on Earth.
Realistically, do you see it happening anytime soon?
Yes, we do. We do see God's power is moving through quickly and powerfully inside and outside China. And his timing is here, and his time is now. It's a time for him to call his children to rise up, to wake up to this massive crime, to understand what that is, and to call for an end. And he's giving the leaders of the two nations an opportunity to do the right thing.
Well, what's the role of the global community, especially Christians, in fighting this policy?
Prayer. prayer is one of the most powerful activity we can do. Through prayers, we can, open heavens. God really sent angels to China to restore justice, mercy. And in our ministry at All Girls Aloud, we pray every day. We see God's power moving powerfully and quickly inside China. In China, there's over hundreds of millions church members. And the saddest thing is very few of them understand forced abortions, forced sterilizations, and gendercide is a crime not only against humanity, it's a crime against God. We see God is moving powerfully to wake up these people as what He has done to, remove the scales off Saul's eyes and turn him into Paul. We see that is taking place inside China. Once that is taking place in massive magnitude, this movement is going to change with more vigor and more strength. We also see it is very possible to change the gender preferences to have boys over girls. And we see in the rural areas what we're supporting, where the baby girl killing at its highest, as high as 233% boys over 100% girls. And by simply giving a baby shower package, $20 a month for a year to enable the family bond with the new baby girls, we see girls now today in those families are not only allowed, they are welcomed.
All right. Chai-Ling with All Girls Aloud, thanks for being with us.
A Philadelphia abortion doctor has been charged with 8 counts of murder. Authorities say 7 babies were killed with scissors. Prosecutors say for 30 years, Dr. Kermit Gosnell made millions by doing as many illegal late-term abortions as he could. He is accused of severing the spinal cords of 7 late-term babies born alive. Authorities discovered his activity during a drug raid on his clinic last year. The district attorney described the scene as a house of horrors, saying there were jars filled with parts of fetuses lining the walls. Gosnell and members of his staff were arrested Tuesday night.
House Republicans are keeping a major campaign promise. Today, they're voting to repeal President Obama's new health care law. The legislation is not likely to pass the Senate, so Republicans say they have other plans to eventually get rid of the law. David Brody has the story from Washington.
Tax increases and Medicare
like a scene from the movie Groundhog Day, here we go again with debating Obamacare.
Repeal, we know, would leave millions out in the cold, stripping them of access to affordable health coverage.
A Gallup USA Today poll this week confirms that only 13% of Americans support the current law. Simply put, the American people want this law repealed.
Ultimately, the Senate or the president himself will halt the effort for repeal. But the House vote by the GOP accomplishes 2 goals. First, it fulfills a campaign promise. And as Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann tells CBN News, it also sends a message that this could signal the beginning of the end of the law and of Mr. Obama's time in office.
We have to continue with all fervency in the House until we can get a new constitutional conservative president in office, and I firmly believe that President Obama will be a one-term president.
If repeal doesn't work, the GOP will try to cut off funding for the bill. Tim Phillips with Americans for Prosperity explained on a recent Brody Files show on CBNNews.com that dismantling the controversial pieces of the law one by one would be very effective too, like getting rid of the mandate requiring all Americans to buy insurance.
Let's break those out, send those to Obama and send those to Harry Reid and say, okay, you don't want to repeal the whole thing. Let's take some of the most outrageous, onerous provisions of this legislation and let's get rid of it for the good of the American people.
For now, though, the American people will be put through another round of congressional battles over Obamacare, the sequel. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
For more on this, Tom McCluskey joins us now from Washington. Tom is with the Family Research Council. And Tom, what do you think about Tim Phillips' proposal there? Rather than going for the touchdown here, just to do it one down at a time, so to speak, and get the worst parts of this bill out.
Well, I think that both moves are important right now. This vote is not symbolic that's happening tonight. It's the American people finally getting a voice in the debate. And then we have to follow Tim's suggestions, and there will be hearings, there will be cutting of funding, there will be other ways that it's going to be the House of Representatives' role to protect the American taxpayer from all the devastation that this bill can cause.
So what do you say to those that say, well, yeah, but it's dead on arrival because the president will veto it, and chances are it's not even going to make it to the Senate?
Well, when you're talking about certain funding issues, you can put them into bills. The appropriation bills are where you're going to see a lot of this, where President Obama is going to have a choice. Does he want to fund some of the most egregious parts of his legislation, his health care law, or does he want to stop the government from being funded at all?
What do you consider the most egregious part of his bill?
Well, for the Family Research Council, it's the fact that taxpayers now have to start paying for abortions and are going to be forced to pay for abortions. Just learned the other day from Rahm Emanuel, former chief of staff, that the executive order that the president has been saying protects life really was just a smokescreen and doesn't at all. But when you go even beyond that, the rationing that can be caused by this legislation, and also the devastation this can have on state economies, who are in a couple of years going to feel the brunt of this, and is one of the reasons why you now have close to 28 states saying they're going to sue the federal government.
Tom McCluskey with the Family Research Council. Tom, as always, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
And coming up, President Obama's mission to end some government regulations. Why Republicans say it does not go far enough.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here for ShaveMate. All-in-one razors, Titan for men, Diva for women. Simplify your shaving, simplify your life. ShaveMate razors combine 6 premium blades and thick, rich, real shaving cream right inside the handle. So you'll never have to deal with the mess of cans of shaving cream again. ShaveMate is the perfect shaving solution for home, the gym, a business trip, or vacation.
It's everything in this one little package. It's perfect.
You get a great shave every time. I think it's going to change the way everybody shaves.
Order right now, and I won't just double the value, I'll triple it, absolutely free. We'll even include our convenient shower hook. You get a total of 3 ShaveMates in your choice of Titan or Diva, and the shower hook, all for only $9.99. Here's how to order.
Order now. Call 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com. That's 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com. Don't just cash in those old coins. You may have valuable rare collectible coins and not even know it.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher, numismatist and TV coin expert for over 20 years. Introducing the Art of Collecting Coins DVD set. The DVD set that shares the secrets of coin collecting and investment and shows you how the pros really make money.
The Art of Collecting Coins DVD features 4 of the most knowledgeable coin experts in the world, and they tell you the secrets only the pros know on how to make money collecting and investing in rare coins. The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set includes over 2.5 hours of detailed information, history, and recommendations for using coin collecting as a stabilizing addition to your financial portfolio. Take the opportunity now by ordering the DVD set, The Art of Collecting Coins.
Now you can learn the value of collecting coins and how to do it right.
Now get The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set absolutely free. But that's not all. We will also include How to Make Money Collecting Coins absolutely free. To get your free DVD, The Art of Collecting Coins, and bonus DVD, How to Make Money Collecting Coins, call 1-888-559-6777 or visit CoinCollectorDVD.com.
President Obama says he'll make strides to reduce federal regulations on businesses. The president has ordered a review on regulations that would hurt job growth. The head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce says the action is a positive first step, but some Republicans and business groups believe he should do more. Skeptics complain that health care reform and Obama's financial overhaul are what's hurting economic growth and job numbers.
Joining us now with more on this story is Phil Kerpen with Americans for Prosperity. Phil, do you agree with the Chamber of Commerce that this executive order from the president is a positive first step?
Well, I think it's good that the president has finally recognized what most of us have known for a long time, which is that the cost of federal regulation is out of control and it's crippling the U.S. economy. In 2010, according to the Small Business Administration, federal regulatory compliance costs were $1.75 trillion. And for small businesses, they were $10,500 per employee just in that 1 year of 2010. So it's way too much. We've got to get it under control. I'm glad that the president finally has recognized that, but he's got to do a lot better than just calling for a review. If he's serious about this, I think he's got to call for a moratorium on all new federal regulations until we get it under control.
Phil, give us, I know your group has done a lot of research on this, but give us an example, an anecdote of one of the most outrageous types of regulations you've seen for a small business.
Well, the most complex regulatory requirements for small businesses are generally complying with the tax code and all of the complexity that's required there to make sure that they're following all of the different laws and filing requirements and everything that they're required to do. And that was actually made significantly worse by the healthcare law, which requires small businesses to file a 1099 for any vendor from whom they buy more than $600 from in a year. And so small businesses are going to have to file huge numbers of 1099 forms, adding to the already very high burden of complying with the tax law. But there are all sorts of other things, labor laws, environmental laws, all sorts of different regulations that they have to comply with, OSHA regulations, labor regulations, and so on, that really pile on. And that's just federal before you look at state and local issues like zoning and so forth. So that it really can be stifling for someone, especially people just starting out trying to start a business.
You're also concerned about something you call backdoor regulations. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is one of my major concerns, is that the Obama administration appears to be pursuing a lot of the things they failed to get through Congress by backdoor means using regulatory efforts. And what I mean is they failed to get their cap-and-trade global warming tax bill through Congress, and so now they're trying to use the EPA to accomplish the same thing by regulation. They failed to get a bill through Congress to regulate the internet in the name of net neutrality, so they're having the FCC just do it on its own. They failed to get the card check bill, and they're moving forward at the National Labor Relations Board to do it without a vote of Congress. And I think if the president is serious about reducing federal regulation, he ought to say they're going to stop pursuing all of these backdoor efforts to accomplish things that Congress never approved and that the American people don't want.
Phil Kerpen with Americans for Prosperity. Thanks for being with us, Phil.
Thank you.
Up next, the new face of Christianity in China. Young business leaders risking it all to spread the gospel.
CBNnews.com. News you want, when you want, 24/7. Stay current with up-to-the-minute stories.
David Brody, CBN News, Capitol Hill.
I don't have to wait for my news anymore. CBNnews.com, at your fingertips all day long.
I only watch the stories I want to see.
I find the story, I click on it, and boom, I'm there.
I'm Chris Mitchell, reporting from Jerusalem.
The source for your news, CBNnews.com.
Attention investors, now is the time to protect your retirement accounts and investments. Excessive government spending is devaluing the US dollar, and high rates of inflation are coming. Gold has tripled since 2001, and some experts predict the prices will climb another 100%. Buy gold now, direct and wholesale with United Gold Group. The demand for gold around the world is higher than ever. Foreign countries like China and India are buying up gold at record rates. Why? What do they know that you don't?
Call now and get your Gold Investors Kit absolutely free. Call in the next 5 minutes and receive The Secret to Owning Gold in Your Retirement Account, also absolutely free. Just call 1-800-758-5070. That's 1-800-758-5070.
This could be the most important call you make this year. United Gold Group, investing in America's future.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here for ShaveMate. All-in-one razors, Titan for men, Diva for women. Simplify your shaving, simplify your life. ShaveMate razors combine 6 premium blades and thick, rich, real shaving cream right inside the handle. So you'll never have to deal with the mess of cans of shaving cream again. ShaveMate is the perfect shaving solution for home, the gym, a business trip, or vacation.
It's everything in this one little package. It's perfect.
You get a great shave every time. I think it's going to change the way everybody shaves.
Order right now, and I won't just double the value, I'll triple it, absolutely free. We'll even include our convenient shower hook. You get a total of 3 ShaveMates in your choice of Titan or Diva, and the shower hook, all for only $9.99. Here's how to order.
Order now. Call 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com. That's 1-800-655-8514 or go to ShaveMate.com.
Decades ago, most Christians in China lived in the countryside. That's changing, though.
Young professionals are bringing faith to the big cities like Beijing and Shanghai. George Thomas has that story from Beijing.
It's Wednesday, just after 7 p.m. In an apartment not too far from the city center, a group of men and women in their late 20s discuss how to thrive in their rapidly changing nation. All are members of China's new privileged class, highly educated, cosmopolitan, middle or even upper class of urban professionals. And they're all Christians.
We've never had it so good in China today. But there's more to life than just money and materialism.
Worship God, worship heaven.
Jia Litian works for one of Beijing's largest tour operators. Like young urban professionals in other parts of the world, he and his peers live in high-rise apartment buildings. They own a car, sometimes two. They are tech-savvy, they travel, they have money to spend. But the pressure to succeed and thrive is fierce.
The competition for jobs in the big cities is intense. Status is everything. How much you make, how big is your apartment, what kind of car you drive. This is what people focus on.
The government makes it possible for us to earn money and have a good life, but how do we handle all these pressures? The government doesn't have answers for this.
And it is in this rapidly changing society that religion, especially Christianity, finds itself filling a spiritual void.
I'm a different person today.
23-year-old Zhe Kun joins the growing rank of those in these cities who are embracing Christianity in record numbers.
The last couple of years have been difficult for me. I have struggled professionally and personally. But then someone introduced me to Jesus, and now I have a different outlook on my life.
This is music to the ears of Zhu's pastor.
God called me to start a church to reach these young people with the gospel.
Jin Tiangming leads Shuwang, one of the largest unregistered, sometimes called underground churches in Beijing. A graduate of China's most prestigious university, Jin's church began 18 years ago with 10 people. Now, close to 1,000 attend his weekly service.
The majority of them have graduated from college and work in the city. We have lawyers, professors, doctors, business people.
He says similar gatherings are springing up in other big cities, attracting the white-collar working world.
They are looking for ways to handle the dramatic changes in China, and they're finding answers in Christianity.
Back at the apartment, Jia Litian helps run a Bible study for new converts in the city. He says this is the new face of Christianity in China. Such believers are part of what some are calling China's third church.
But
Peter, not his real name, has worked with China's underground churches for decades. CBN News agreed to conceal his identity to protect him.
They're called the Third Church because they're very different than what used to be the only two real kinds of churches in China, which were the registered church, registered with the government, and then the unregistered churches, usually called house churches, which thrived in the countryside in the 70s and 80s. But then after the 1989 demonstrations, these urban, educated, well-to-do Christians started forming urban churches.
And while Christianity continues to grow in China's countryside, it is here in the big cities like Beijing that experts say the church is growing the fastest.
Whereas the rural church was not able to have an impact on society as a whole, the third church in the cities is able to do that, because they're comprised of leaders who can have an impact. Businessmen, government officials, professors, leaders in engineering, every aspect of life.
Pastor Jin's congregation is technically an illegal gathering. You see, he hasn't registered his church with the government, nor is it part of any of these state-sanctioned churches. But rather than hide from authorities, Jin and others who lead such congregations in the big cities want to work with the government officials. But let's be clear, the Chinese government maintains a tight grip on religion. Torture, arrests, imprisonment, and beatings of Christians are still practiced, yet the authorities in recent years have made positive overtures toward leaders of the house church, especially those in the urban areas.
The church in China is growing, and Christianity is becoming more and more a part of mainstream society. The authorities know this, and they're showing a willingness to work with us.
A gesture welcomed by these young believers as they use faith to navigate the opportunities and challenges of China today. George Thomas, CBN News, Beijing.
Up next, Why these cutouts aimed at raising awareness are also raising controversy.
Attention investors, now is the time to protect your retirement accounts and investments. Excessive government spending is devaluing the US dollar and high rates of inflation are coming. Gold has tripled since 2001, and some experts predict the prices will climb another 100%. Buy gold now, direct and wholesale with United Gold Group. The demand for gold around the world is higher than ever. Foreign countries like China and India are buying up gold at record rates. Why? What do they know that you don't?
Call now and get your Gold Investors Kit absolutely free. Call in the next 5 minutes and receive The Secret to Owning Gold in Your Retirement Account, also absolutely free. Just call 1-800-758-5070. That's 1-800-758-5070.
This could be the most important call you make this year. United Gold Group, investing in America's future.
Don't just cash in those old coins. You may have valuable rare collectible coins and not even know it.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher, numismatist and TV coin expert for over 20 years. Introducing the Art of Collecting Coins DVD set. The DVD set that shares the secrets of coin collecting and investment and shows you how the pros really make money.
The Art of Collecting Coins DVD features 4 of the most knowledgeable coin experts in the world, and they tell you the secrets only the pros know on how to make money collecting and investing in rare coins. The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set includes over 2.5 hours of detailed information, history, and recommendations for using coin collecting as a stabilizing addition to your financial portfolio. Take the opportunity now by ordering the DVD set, The Art of Collecting Coins.
Now you can learn the value of collecting coins and how to do it right.
Now get The Art of Collecting Coins DVD set absolutely free. But that's not all. We will also include How to Make Money Collecting Coins absolutely free. To get your free DVD, The Art of Collecting Coins, and bonus DVD, How to Make Money Collecting Coins, call 1-888-559-6777 or visit CoinCollectorDVD.com.
Some artwork meant for good is getting some pretty bad reviews.
Yeah, in fact, the city of Dallas calls it illegal.
Even though these signs are very, very different, if they're in the public right-of-way, on a sidewalk, in a median, they would be subject to removal by our staff.
A nonprofit group called 5750 is causing quite a stir over these plywood cutouts. They're in the shape of homeless people holding signs that bear strong messages, like the money spent on an iPod or Super Bowl tickets could buy hundreds of pairs of shoes and shelter for those in need. They were designed to raise awareness about homelessness.
We did not clear it with the city. We did not clear it with owners. We tried to put them all in safe locations in the public right away. We were trying to find things that would give people an emotional response.
Obviously they did. There were 36 signs total. Many have since been removed by property owners or stolen. The group says they just hope the artwork caused enough controversy to make a difference. We'll see.
Hopefully they can find a better home for them, because it is a great message.
It would seem like the logical thing to do would be go out there and find a place for them to live.
Someone's lot. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Newswatch.
Remember, you can email us your comments and questions at newswatch@cbn.com. And we hope you'll join us next time.